questions for Coach Bucknam?
Yeah, Chris, I was looking at the SEC best performance list this morning and writing down where you guys have, leaders and top two or three. It took a very long time to write everybody down because you have so many. Just how good do you feel about, the firepower you have going into this meet?
Bob, I feel really good about it. We've got, our three main areas, that with Coach Case and Coach Geffert and myself, and I think we've got firepower in all three of those event areas, whether it's some, the distance running or the jumps and throws and in the sprints and hurdles. So feel good about it. We got a lot of different ways that we can score points, and that's really important. It's not just reliant on, 3 or 4 people or 5 people, so looking forward to seeing how we put it all together.
And then Aiden, I know I hadn't thought about this till I read Nate's column, but he hadn't done the HEP yet. So he's going to do the HEP. And then I know he's also obviously was on your relay that set the school record and all that kind of. What all will Aiden just focus on the HEP and nothing else, or what are your plans for him?
He'll just focus on the HEP. He won't have anything else to do. That's in of itself, it's a lot of events. So, we're not out to break any records or anything. We're out to win the meet, and that's our primary goal. And get some final qualifiers or what have you, and get the job done. So, priority 1 is to score the most points.
And you guys, I guess, have the top marks in both relays. How good do you feel about those relays?
Those relays, what makes this meet a lot of fun is that, anything can happen, and those relays are, different. The personnel will be different than what we did last week when, we ran a really good distance medley relay team and, notched the spot at the national championship with that group. It'll be some different personnel in the group. Same with the 4x4. And it's the same with the other schools too. We're all trying to manage, athletes doubling and tripling, and there's a lot of teams here that are gonna make noise at the NCAA championship, and so, everybody's kind of playing the long game a little bit and not overworking, 2 or 3 athletes, and try to spread the talent out, and so you're gonna. What you see on that, not necessarily is what might happen at the meet, although we hope it does. Our DMR has different personnel on it. Our 4x4 will probably have different personnel on it, and it's all about scoring the most runs, and that's what we're shooting for.
And then on paper, you guys are, I would say, a pretty overwhelming favorite, but I know a lot of stuff can happen at a meet. Guys can false start, drop at times, no height, whatever. But just do you feel like you guys should be the big favorites?
I feel like I'm not going to shy away from it. We're the favorites, and I'll be disappointed if we don't come out on top. I think we've got a really good team, but we just have to go out and execute. That's our game plan. That's our motto for this week: is just go out and execute. Each of our athletes, what they're good at, and that'll put us in a good position. There's no question the target's on our back, we'll just, that's why you have the track meet. You never know what's going to happen, and nothing's easy. Okay, nothing is easy. So we're not going to take anything for granted. We're not going to laissez-faire this meet at all by any way, shape, or form. We're going to compete like our backs are against the wall, and that's what we're going to have to do in 2 weeks as well. And we've set everything up for this last month of competition, and we're gonna go in it and attack where each and every one of these events, and try to score the most runs.
And Lance, forgive me for asking this. How old are you? Are you 71?
72.
72. Okay. Well, the last time you guys didn't win this meet, I think you would have been 63. So I think I do remember. You guys are going for your 9th straight title. Just what do you think about that streak and hopefully extending it for your last SEC indoors as head coach?
Well, as far as thinking about the last time as a head coach has not even been a thought. Trying to get all the pieces of this puzzle to interlock and create a team that can vie for another title is the challenge at hand. We're probably not the favorite. I think Florida will come in as the favorite, but the meet will be basically, according to the Florida coach, it's a duel between the two of us, and third place is way behind. So every time that we hit head to head will be crucial. Our strengths against their strengths, basically, like Buck was saying, as far as all these events go, we're going to try to mastermind the best capability that this 27 has. And this is also a first for us. We've never experienced where we had to keep people that could have potentially scored not in our lineup because of the limitation of 27. I know that happens on the men's side a lot, but on our side, we've always either, had people get hurt or injured or sick or whatever, that we never could really have to fret over the idea of who would constitute our 27.
I guess that's a good problem. I mean, you feel bad for
Yeah,
somebody.
no, I
I guess
think
that's a good problem to have,
yeah,
right?
it's elevated the caliber of expectation by each and every athlete. The people that aren't on there will make sure they hold the other the 27 accountable. And I know our men are in the same boat. There's going to be people watching from the stands. They're going to be going, hey, they blew an opportunity. I could have done XYZ. So obviously it's a calculated decision by the coaching staff, but you've had an entire season to prove your ability. And so eventually you understand how rare the opportunity is to compete in our sport. You need to take advantage of each and every time that you lace on the performing shoes and the gun goes off.
And I know Lauren's like top 5 in 3 distance events, and then she's also anchored your DMR. I assume she can't do all that.
No, and we wouldn't do that to her. Like Bucky was alluding to, is that you want to win the SEC meet, no doubt about it, but at the same time, not at the cost of your best team at the national championship, which was, only a week and a half later. So the idea is overstressing her could end up backfiring, and you win the SEC, but we get penalized at the national meet, and so on. Both are very important to us. They're obviously the highlight of our season. At the same time, you got to consider what's best for each and every athlete.
So with Lauren, what do you plan to run her in?
She's going to run the mile and come back in the 3,000. She is in the pool for the distance medley, but I think we can run a different distance medley that will still be effective as far as scoring points, but maybe not win it outright. So we could get more bang for our buck by having Lauren being in open events and a little more fresh.
And I know Britain's got the second time, I guess, behind Rosie in the 400, and she's had a great 800 time. And she could run on the 4x4. What are your plans for Britain?
Well, Britt is going to be in the 800, which is a new event for her. Talk about learn by doing. She is literally going to be learning the event as the SEC meet evolves. So she'll run the 800 prelim on Friday, come back in the final on Saturday. And then obviously we're very fortunate to have a lot of potential people to run on the 4x4 at the end of the meet. and she's such a great competitor. I think she'd be hard to keep off that relay.
Yeah, I got a couple more probably, but I'll turn it over. I'm sure Courtney and maybe some others have some stuff to ask.
Yeah, Courtney, did you have a question?
Yeah, Bob, you kind of covered everything I really needed there. But just for Chris, you talk about, having a lot of ways to score points. Is there any individuals that you're looking, besides we talked about the relays, but any individuals you're hoping for big performances from this weekend?
How many athletes we can compete? 27. So I'd have to say I'm expecting 27 big performances. Obviously, we have some stars. There's no question about that. Just excited to get them out there. Obviously, one of our strengths are the horizontal jumps, the long jump and the triple jump. So it's going to be fun to Jaden Hibbert, freshman. It'd be fun to open him up with a full approach and have him compete full 100%. Same with Wayne Pennick. You haven't seen much of Wayne Pennick, but he's a defending national champ and looks awfully good. So we're looking forward to him, getting a series of jumps in. We've been playing this game, not a game, it's like serious business for us as far as, just as I've mentioned before, a pitch count. Okay. And then we've got, these guys are our aces. And so we've had a pitch count on those guys. And even though if they're doing good, we pull them off the mound. And that's what we've been doing all year. So, we're looking forward to, watching them compete full series of jumps. And obviously, Chris Bailey's the #1 400-meter runner in the country. But don't count out James Benson, who has is a phenomenal athlete for us. He does not have a qualifying time yet. I think he's in the mid 40, low 46s. But I'm looking forward to watching him compete and hopefully getting him qualified. And he's going to be a contender for a title as well. So we have those games within the game being played that you're asking about, and we're just looking forward to opening up and really testing where we're at. And so that it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you certainly hope for 27 perfect performances as well.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing we leave out too is we got a great hurdle crew. Travian Gilbert, Philip Lamonius, Matthew Banks. Those guys, Lewis, those guys are really, really good. And that hurdle race is wide open. There's a lot of great hurdlers right at the top of the heat, 770, 771, 772, hundreds of a second separating, 5 or 6 athletes. So, that'll be a fun race to watch. And, we're looking forward to, having some success there and seeing some big improvements. The competition is going to be great.
No doubt about it. Lance, I know you kind of said, look, I'm not thinking about that it's my last one of these, but is there any sort of, sentimental feelings? Have your athletes kind of talked about it a little bit or anything like that with you?
No, interesting. None of my athletes have said a word. So I don't know if it's a well-kept secret on the team or they just don't care. It's a situation where athletes are kind of a selfish group. They want to make sure that the center of attention is around them. And so, we'll continue to make sure they're center of attention.
Courtney, they'll realize that next fall.
Yeah.
Hey, where's Coach Harter?
Hey, some of them have said it. I just don't think they want to think about it. I think that's what they're just like, I don't want to think about this. So at least when I talked to Lauren Gregory about that, she was like, I don't want to talk about it. So
They're nice.
That's all from me. Thank you, guys.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Anybody else with a question?
Yeah, Chris, I didn't realize I was reading Nate's column did I already ask you? I already asked you about Hilton, didn't I?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. I'm confused. I'm getting old. Lexington Hilton I guess I was talking to Sean about it. Saw he was out. Tough break there. Just what are your thoughts on that? And if he was healthy, would he do the mile and the 3K, or what were your plans for him?
Yeah, we could have put him in the mile. He's like a Lauren Gregory type of athlete where we could put him in the mile, the 3K, the 5K. He could anchor the DMR. just a real versatile athlete. Just feel crushed because, he sat out all last year and gets it going with, phenomenal January and all that. But, all these distance runners are kind of living on the edge a little bit, walking a fine line between their training and their racing and their rest. And, he's just caught a bad break. And like I said, he caught a bad break last year and now he's catching another one. And, just feel bad for the young man because he's a great competitor and a real fine addition to our program. But we'll get him back healthy. We got a great training staff, and we'll get him back out, hopefully outdoors. But it's certainly he's going to be missed, and we had to subtract a bunch of points off our score sheet because he's not with us. So just hope for a quick recovery for him, Bob.
Yeah, is it a stress fracture or stress reaction or what?
Stress reactions. Yeah.
And then Kiprop, he ran that great 5K. I guess was the last week or 2 weeks ago. Again, I'm losing track of time.
Yeah.
What all? I assume he'll run the 5K. What all do you have him in for?
Well, we have him in the 5 and the 3K, and we'll see how the meet progresses towards the end of the second day, Saturday afternoon. We get down after the 200 meters. We'll have an idea of where we're at score wise and what we're going to do. But I'll tell you what, I mean, it's he ran phenomenal, but he's running against he's not the athlete from Tennessee is the number one athlete in the country in the 5K, but I think he's running the 3K. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure, but he could end up matching up with the number one guy in the country. So it's just a great league across the board, and it's hard to win these races, these SEC races. You win one of those races or one of those field events, you're really, really good, and they're hard to win because everybody in our league has some great athletes, and so Kiprop's got his work cut out for him.
It just seems like the SEC, every event, and we just had a head coaches meeting, and we are going to add Texas and Oklahoma to this conference. We don't need to have an NCAA championship anymore. It'll be named the SEC championship. It's just incredible, the quality of talent that is across the board. And, Lauren Gregory is a heck of an athlete. And a threat to win any race she's in. But in our conference, she's 5th in multiple events because our peers are going worldwide to find the competition. It's not like, hey, we're going to get Johnny out of Louisiana. We're going to Turkey or Morocco or wherever to find the latest future champion.
And Chris, obviously Aiden's the headliner in the HEP, but you guys have some other top. I think you have two of the other top. Well, you have two of the top 4. Obviously, Aiden hadn't had a mark yet, but what do you think about the heptathlon? How big an event that could be for you?
We think that can score some points, no question about that. Looking for. I think we're in good shape in that area. I'm excited to watch. Daniel Spacia compete again. He's an NCAA first team All-American last year outdoors in the decathlon. So he's just a phenomenal athlete. Georgia has some great ones in there. Johannes Erm is phenomenal as well. So, but we're looking forward to Spacia and Marcus Weaver compete. We get a couple of good ones sitting out because they couldn't make our squad. So looking forward to watching Aiden get out there, but also the other two. Yeah.
And you guys both have added some real impact transfers. Maybe you could each speak to how they've immersed themselves with the team. Chris, maybe you could take that, and then Lance, the impact of the transfers this year.
Well, they've done a great they've just done well. You know, there's no question that, you know, we got some athletes from Tennessee that transferred in, but they followed their coach, Coach Gefford, you know, and as you know, Coach Gefford, this is his second year. And so the transition, you know, was, you know, pretty easy for those guys that he coaches. And then same with our thrower, Jordan, who's a phenomenal thrower. You know, he followed his coach here, Coach Newell. And so the transition, Bob, has been pretty good because, you know, they're a lot of them are still with their coaches, but, you know, we got some other guys that transitioned in and are doing a really good job. So now we've got a welcoming, open team, and you know, we want to be good. Our guys want to be good, and so all hands on deck.
Same with us. I mean, the portal has been good to us. We have 3 of our 400-meter runners are all transfers. Amber Anning is from LSU. Aaliyah Pyatt is from South Carolina. I think Price was a junior college transfer. Nikisha Price has had a huge impact from the junior college ranks. We have 2 twins that are transfers from Drury College that both are capable of adding to our scoring ability that have been absolutely awesome. Claire and Katie McCune. You know, yes, the portal has been good to us, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going.
And Lance, you mentioned Mike Holloway saying that it looks like maybe it's a duel between you and Florida. Did he say at that coaches meeting in front of all the other coaches, or
No,
context for that?
no, that was just a conversation between the 2 of us.
Okay.
We've doped it out. He's doped it out. It's just, you know, side by side, who has a great Friday and even better Saturday. That's how close it can be. You know, that's what's exciting about this meet. We're going to keep TV exciting. So if the men, you know, start to pull away, the women will keep it going.
Hey, Bob, can I just mention one other thing about the transfers? Just, you know, Arkansas has had a history of transfers. You know, obviously the portal is new and it makes it a little more seamless, but you know, we've always had transfers come in over the years, whether it's Coach McDonald or myself or with Coach Harter. They've always, you know, we've had athletes gravitate here. It just seems like it's a little bit more just because of the portal, but I think everybody in the league is experiencing the exact same thing, and they all have them, and it's just kind of the way of the world now. But you know, we have, it's nothing new to us. I mean, we've had transfers for years. It's just a little, like I said, it's a little bit different now, a little bit easier to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Anybody else with a question? One I had for both coaches, just the importance of getting to host the SEC championships and what that means to both the staff and the team of wanting to, in your case, defend titles, as well as continue how well you've done whenever you do get to host this meet.
Well, it's always great to be able to run in front of your home crowd. Basically, we were not supposed to host. It was supposed to be at Texas A&M, but they had a change in philosophy about facilities and so on, and they're building a new indoor facility as we speak, which will be somewhat of a mirror image of ours. So they passed it to us, and I guarantee you all the SEC schools are super excited about coming here because this track has proven to be fast. The officiating is always first class, and the fans understand track and field. They know a great mark when it's done. It doesn't matter what jersey you have. Obviously, we're partial to Razorback jerseys, but they understand the quality that happens to be arriving in Fayetteville this weekend.
Yeah, I would say ditto to that. You know, obviously, you know, we don't have the travel or what have you, but you know, we're staying in a hotel for a few nights ourselves. So we're kind of along in with everybody else that are visiting here. But I think, as Lance said too, I mean, we've had a lot of SEC schools come in here often, whether we host the SEC or not. And so I think that they're, you know, I would have to say a lot of the conference is familiar with our facility inside and out. And so I think the great part about our facility too and hosting are our officials. And they host big meets. A lot of them go around the country and some around the world to host world championships and Olympic Games and all that. And so it's I think people come in knowing that they're going to get a fair shake here. I think that's really important. It's tough when you're favored to win and you know, you think you know, everybody's against you when you come to Fayetteville, but really our officials you know, quell that, and they, you know, they're even-handed, and you know, we want people leaving here feeling like, hey, their team got better being here. And that's, you know, obviously we want to win the meet, but people have been here enough to know that hey, they're gonna get a fair shake. Stuff happens in the meets, and sometimes the gloves come off, but for the most part, you know, we're trying really hard to make it a great competition. And I will say one last thing too, and that is the economic impact of our meets in this area is, I mean, it's kind of unmatched. I mean, there are literally, you know, give and take a team, there's literally 28 teams here this weekend. You know, you have 14 SEC schools, and they have a men's and a women's program with all their staffs and everything. And you add that up, and you look at the Razorback Invitational, you look at the Tyson invite, you add up the dollars that are being brought in, and it's like, I mean, it's significant. And so we're glad that, you know, we're able to show off Fayetteville and in Arkansas. That's pretty cool too. So just an FYI on that. I think that gets lost in it, that you know, hey, this is a revenue producing event and a sport. So
You guys should get a cut of that. I mean,
Or at least get a free meal somewhere.
well, you add in all the meats, it's got to be in the millions. When you talk about
It has to be.
So many, yeah.
you know, restaurants buying gas.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Hotels.
yeah, it's got to be. And you know, you got parents and fans coming in, and
you take chili pepper, you take these indoor meats, you take some of these outdoor meats, the West prelims that we hosted last year with everybody west of the Mississippi coming in here. It's probably in the tens of millions when you look at it. So just try to do our part economically.
hey, Lance, when you and Mike Howler, was that just a phone conversation you guys were having? You were kind of comparing notes, or?
A little bit. We were talking about something. I can't remember what it was, but you know, obviously everything centers back to SEC and NCAA conversations. I've known Mouse forever, and you know, even when he was an athlete, which I'll remind him that was a long, long time ago. And he's had a phenomenal career at Florida. So, you know, those are friendships that'll last forever. And when you talk about, you know, missing, you know, being away from next year, hopefully Bucky will put me on the pass list, and I'll still be able to come and shake hands.
You're still doing
I might even give you a little lanyard with a little thing on it.
With a picture on it.
Yeah.
but you're still going to be doing some volunteer stuff or something, right?
Yeah. yet to be determined. That's up to our administration and you know, it'll be Chris's show, so it's up to him.
So when you were talking to Holloway, were you guys like you saying, "Oh, I think you're the favorite," and you're going, "Oh no, you're the favorite"? How did that go?
I can't remember what we were talking about. I'll have to ask him. But yeah, it was just one of those conversations, and I said, "Hey, you know, you got a whale of a team," and he said the same. So yeah, I think we're probably a mutual admiration committee for each other, especially this year because you know, he won the national title last year. He's got even a better team this year in spite of his superstar going pro. But he took that money and I think he brought in 4 great sprinters to enhance his team. You know, it's not hard to sell palm trees and sun and beach time. So they've done a great job of it. And we'll have our hands full. I wish he spent more time focused on the men. So we'll go from there.
He won 2 men's titles last year, so he's
doing okay.
he's
Well, hey, just so you guys know, I'm writing some on the men for tomorrow, some on the women for Friday. I didn't want Lance to see the paper tomorrow and think, "Oh, what's you're
Just as long as you spell my name right, that's all it's important.
that's spell checker. It'd make you Carter, Harter, anything but
Oh,
Harter."
Lane Carter.
Do what?
Lane Carter.
Yeah, I don't know.
And my
It's
94-year-old mother caught it. So
autocorrect.
that's
Yeah.
spell check for you.
I think this newer laptop I have is big an issue, but yeah, on deadline that wasn't good. I mean, I would change it to everything but Harter. I don't know.
Not a problem.
But yeah, you think it's some other words if things get changed too, and you're like, we don't even have the paper. So anyway,
Well, some of them I probably deserve. So.
yeah, that way you kind of get the spread out the info on the meet a little bit Thursday and Friday. Hopefully